We'll call the meeting to order. All of us are present and accounted for, so as is our custom in the beginning of the meeting, we will now say the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand and join us. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Folks, we have no additions or deletions to our agenda, so I would look for a motion to approve the agenda as shown.
I will make a motion to approve it as shown.
Clint on the motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Jolynn. Any other discussion? All in favor of the approval of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Scheduled presenters, we have none. School board rep and school board committee reports. Does anyone have anything for the group about a committee or committees that you represent?
The Cannon Falls Ed Foundation, we're coming up on, or we are actively in, like Give to the Max Day time. So the Community Education Foundation would take any donations and would greatly appreciate them. And then they're working on nailing down their winter speaker. So otherwise, staff development, they had their school force training day, which I'm excited to hear what they think about that and all the information that they learned with that. And then they're just continuing to work on their READ Act, and it sounds like it's going pretty decent, actually. So, yeah.
Questions for Jolynn?
If you guys haven't had a chance to get down to the school forest, I would recommend doing that. Even anytime, obviously, you can just take a walk through there and see that the staff over the last few years have done a great job of getting that up to speed. So, I think you guys, maybe those of you on the finance and facility committee, you guys have been notified, I think, about those dates. The agenda will be coming out soon for those, but we want to have one here of each in the next week or so. Those will be meeting. The finance committee to talk about the referendum piece, and then the facility committee, we want to get our new hire, which will be approved, I believe, at the November 28th meeting. Stephen Johnson was selected, and he will start on Monday, November 18th. And he's been in and out quite a bit, actually, over the last week or so. So we're very excited about that.
Good deal.
Anyone else? Moving down to administrative reports. You may not have it here, but I think the elementary and Jeff had sent their information to us previously, and you've had a chance to review it. But Jeff, would you like to speak to the SUPS report at all?
Yeah, the only thing I was going to mention, I was going to talk a little bit about the hiring of Stephen, which I've already done, and then also Lori and Jolynn and myself are going to be heading up to the NREA conference this coming Sunday at noon. At least we're planning on leaving at noon. I'm not sure. Lori's going to meet us up there. She's coming from the opposite direction of us, Canada. So we'll give a report when we get back on that, about how that conference was. So.
Questions for Jay? Moving along. Public input. Does anyone wish to speak to the board regarding anything on the agenda this evening? You're allowed 3 to 5 minutes to speak. We will close public input. Action items. We have no old business. And under new business, we will start out with consideration to approve the resolution canvassing returns of votes of the school district general and special election.
This is exactly what it is. The first set here is for the school board members that were voted upon. And Rondi Showbloom, Jolynn Williams, Peter Swenson, and Jody Strain for the special election were voted in and will be seated come January. So we would need to approve the resolution canvassing the returns of the school board seat election and the special election. That is the first one.
First of all, congratulations to you.
And a big thank you for everyone that ran.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So we need an approval of the resolution, so stated. Does anyone wish to make that motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Katie on the motion,
Second.
seconded by Brian. Any other discussion? If not, clerk, would you read that resolution?
You want me to read bullets 1 and 2?
Why don't we refer to Lori, who's our,
The first sentence in bullets 1 and 2?
Yes.
Okay. Be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 252, State of Minnesota, as follows. It is hereby found, determined, and declared that the general and special election of the voters of this school district held on November 5th, 2024, in conjunction with the state general election, was in all respects duly and legally called and held. As specified in the attached abstract and return of votes cast, voters of the district voted at said general election on the election of 3 school board members for 4-year term vacancies on the board caused by expiration of term on the first Monday in January next following the general election as follows. Do you want me to read names?
The results, yes.
All of them? Okay. Ronnie Schoblum, 2,337. Jolyn Williams, 2,133. Peter Swenson, 1,995. Cliff Gorman, 1,605. Don Lanning, 1,277. And write-ins was 61. Would you like me to end at number 6?
Yes.
Okay. Rondi Schoblum, Jolyn Williams, and Peter Swenson have received the highest number of votes, are elected to 4-year terms beginning on the first Monday in January 2025. As specified in the attached abstract, the return of votes cast, voters of the district voted at said special election on the election of one individual to fill the vacancy in the term of school board member expiring January 4, 2027 as follows. Jody Strain, 3,631, write-ins, 55. Jody Strain, having received the highest number of votes, is elected to fill the vacancy in the term of a school board member expiring January 4th, 2027. Said individual shall take office as soon as he or she qualifies. The clerk is hereby directed to certify the results of the election to the county auditor of each county in which the school district is located in whole or in part. The motion for the adoption of the foregoing resolution was duly seconded by, who ended up seconding this?
Brian?
Brian. And upon voting being taken thereon, the following vote in favor of. So we need a yes or no vote. Clinton?
Yes.
Luke?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes?
Katie?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And myself is yes.
Okay, that passes by a 6-0 vote. One more time, congratulations to you all. Number 2, consideration to approve the resolution authorizing issuance of certificates of election and directing the school district clerk to perform other election-related duties.
And this is a resolution authorizing certificates to the 4 people that were elected. And then we swear them in later, Lori.
Yes. I contacted people.
You already reached out and did that.
Okay.
So we are looking for a motion to approve this resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Luke on the motion, seconded by whom?
I'll second.
Seconded by Clint. Other discussion? Clerk, do your reading.
Lori, am I reading all the 5?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Now therefore be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 252, State of Minnesota as follows. The chair and the clerk are hereby authorized to executive certificates of election on behalf of the School Board of Independent School District Number 252 to the following candidates: Rondi Schoblum, Jolyn Williams, Peter Swenson, who have received a sufficiently large number of votes to be elected to fill vacancies on the board caused by expiration of term on the first Monday in January next following the election based on the results of the canvass. The chair and the clerk are hereby authorized to execute the certificate of election on behalf of the School Board of Independent School District Number 252 to Jody Strain, who's received a sufficiently large number of votes to fill the vacancy in the term of school board member expiring January 4th, 2027. Such individual shall take office as soon as he or she qualifies. The certificates of election shall be substantially the form attached hereto. After the time of contesting, the election has passed and the candidate has filed an all campaign financial reports required by the Minnesota Statutes, Chapter 211A. The clerk of the school board is hereby directed to deliver a certificate to each person entitled thereto personally or by certified mail. The clerk is hereby directed to enclose with the certificate a form of acceptance of office and the oath of office in the substantially the form attached hereto. The motion of the adoption of the foregoing resolution was duly seconded by
Me.
Clinton. And upon vote taken thereon, the following vote in favor of, so I'm gonna yes or no vote by Clinton,
Yes.
Luke,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes,
Katie,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
and myself is yes.
that passes by a 6-0 vote. Take a deep breath, you're halfway done. Consideration to approve the resolution canvassing returns of special election certification of minutes relating to special election.
This is a resolution in regards to the operating levy question as it was put on the docket. And it did not pass, and these are the election results, 2196 to 2477. And the resolution,
We need a resolution to consider.
A motion?
Yes,
I'll make a motion.
Katie on the motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Luke. Other discussion? Julian?
Should I start at the be it resolved?
yes.
Maybe just that one and then just read the vote numbers? Maybe? Is that-
That would be fine.
Okay. Be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 252, Minnesota, that the special election held in and for the school district on November 5th, 2024 was in all respects duly and legally called and held, and returns therefore have been duly canvassed, and the votes cast at the special election for and against the questions submitted to the electors were as follows. I suppose I should read the question, huh? The Board of Independent School District Number 252, Minnesota has proposed to revoke the school district's existing referendum revenue authorization of $500 per pupil and to replace that authorization with a new authorization of $1,250 per pupil, subject to an annual increase at the rate of inflation. The proposed new referendum revenue authorization would be first levied in 2024 for taxes payable in 2025 and applicable for 10 years unless otherwise revoked or reduced as provided by law. The votes for this, the yes votes were 2,196, the no votes were 2,477. You want me to jump down to the maybe?
So we have a motion and a second on the floor.
Yeah.
Is she done reading? I'm sorry.
Well, no, I think we need to vote for this one too.
Yeah, you need a vote.
Yeah, so I'll get a yes or no vote from Clinton,
Yes.
Luke,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes,
Katie,
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
And myself is yes.
that passes by a 6-0 vote. I was not sure if you were actually.
Sorry, I wasn't sure either.
No, that's okay, that's okay. Number 4, consideration to approve the 24-25 resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions and reasons therefore.
This is a yearly resolution that I would ask the board to pass. Normally we pass it either in December or January, but I'm asking the board for us to start now so that we can have a number. I'm going to ask Josh to put together or start putting together the preliminary budget for FY '26, which would be next school year, to determine a number to bring back to the board in December that I'm going to ask the board to approve for us to start directing cuts for that. We will need to cut. We don't know how much yet until we get that preliminary budget done. And unfortunately, the cuts will have to be going into the new board. So is good, that you guys probably should start coming to board meetings.
We need a
I will make
motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Clint on the motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Brian. Any other discussion? Clerk, would you read that?
Whereas the financial condition of the school district dictates that the school board may reduce expenditures immediately, and whereas there has been a reduction in student enrollment, and whereas this and/or may include discontinuation of positions and discontinuance or curtailment of programs, and whereas a determination must be made as to which teachers' contracts must be terminated and not renewed, and which teachers may be placed on unrequested leave of absence without pay or fringe benefits in affecting discontinuance of positions. Be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 252 as follows. The school board hereby directs the superintendent of schools and administration to consider the discontinuance of programs or positions and make recommendations to the school board for the discontinuance of programs, curtailment of programs, discontinuance of positions, or curtailment of positions. We need to vote for this one as well. Yes or no vote. Clinton,
Yes.
Luke,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes,
Katie,
Yes.
and Brian.
Yes.
And myself is yes.
it passes by a 6-0 vote. So ends our agenda for this evening. I don't think we can walk out of here without at least some conversation, because what happened was fair, and it, to some degree, will distress the school district. This is not the first time we've had a referendum or a bond issue fail in our community. Personally, I've been involved with more than a dozen of them, and the vast majority of them pass. Economics may have been a result. There's just a lot of areas that could have been a result. But it's not about the education process that we give our kids. We've got a stellar education program here. At this point in time, it just was not in the cards for us to get that passed, and the people have really spoken, but there's at least a couple of you in here that have, I don't know if they asked to speak, but I know it's in their heart to say something, so I'm not sure if anybody on the board would like to speak, but we need eventually to push ahead. We hire our superintendent to do just this. He is our CEO, and along with other administrators, it will bring forth a package for you after the first of the year sometime to review what they deem as the best result for us. And there is no such thing as a best result, because it will probably be painful, because I'm sure it's going to go across the board. But before we part company this evening, does anybody wish to throw out anything on behalf, which would include our ex officio?
I would just say that you're right, you know, it's unfortunate what happened, but we will persevere. We have a strong staff, we have strong programs here. We will get through this, and I think it's up to the board, obviously, if you wanna go back out and try again next year, we can talk about that and what that looks like. There are 3 options for operating levies, just so that you guys have this information going forward. You can only go out once a calendar year. You can go out more often if you're in statutory operating debt, which we are not. If you decide to go out earlier than the election day in November, the district can run its own election through mail ballots that we would run ourselves, obviously, and there could be questions that get brought up about that piece of it. But that is an option. I'm gonna recommend at this point not to do that, because if you do that earlier than November, then that's the only chance you get that year to run it. Then you're waiting a full other into the following year. At this point, after talking to Ellers and our financial advisors, is I'm gonna recommend that we go through the cut process and then aim for something in November at this point of next year.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I guess probably like most of us, I was pretty disappointed. It took a few days to kind of speak openly really about it and how I truly felt. But I guess now for myself, I'm trying to make it so, try to look at this positive going through. We talked a lot to the public about what would happen if this didn't pass, and now unfortunately we have to show what's going to happen. And I really didn't want to get to that point. But here we are, and like Jeff said, we will power through. We'll figure out a ways. It's gonna get a lot tougher, but we will get through it.
Yeah, I would just add that, you know, as I was out and about talking with people and meeting with groups, and the folks that I encountered that were on the fence or no's, it was pretty clear it wasn't necessarily much to do with the school itself or our teachers or our staff or anything like that. It was more so of an economic thing, and I do think we got caught up in that, unfortunately. But I think it's really important that our staff, our teachers, and our students know that this isn't a reflection necessarily of them. I really believe that, and that's the feedback I got. Obviously, there was a lot of people that voted against this, but I think it's important that those people know that, and unfortunately, it's gonna lead to tough conversations and whatnot, but we'll get through it, and that was the feedback that I got from voters.
Anyone else? Okay, folks, we said our piece and needed to be said. At this point in time, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Jolene on the motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Luke. Any other discussion? All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.